to show my perspective about how I see the situation, war or no war, or whatever, because actually I visit many places all over the world. I feel always in Europe, they believe war is coming, even so far, against Iran. In East Asia, I see different. And when I visited United States Central Command last month, having full day, study day together, I felt that really they don't know. So I will show my perspective according to these all visits and my readings, and you're following up. So let's start together. Okay. I think after the Cold War, which was Soviet Union, the main enemy to the United States, I don't know, I felt that Iran became very important to the United States, even in terms of Cold War as well. Yeah, I'm Egyptian and I live in Gulf, I live in Emirates, which really I love too much. And also I feel that Iran is provocative. I mean, I don't say Iranian people, but I say Iranian regime is provocative to what I could feel around. And we have to remember that Iran does not have big fellows in the region. They don't have very good friends in the region. And, they have internal big strategic depth, but externally they don't have. No country can secure them as they want. So I think they need two bridges. One of them to the Mediterranean, maybe Syria and Lebanon. The other one to Yemen, Red Sea, which should be Yemen. And the heart is Iraq. And at the same time, if I come quickly to Israel. Israel, they see our region that four camps: Salafi jihadist, terrorism, Muslim Brotherhood, Shiite Irani Shiite, and there is a fourth one, I will remember it right now. But anyway, if you notice, they see the region in sectarian way. They believe that most of the Arabian countries are artificial states. And this is what Moshe Yaalon himself mentioned in his video in September 2016, just before Trump became the president of the United States for a few months. However, in the same time, Trump came as a president in 2017, and many things have been changed. Okay. If I talk about the background of what happened May this year, in 2008, has been The Guardian even published, that Netanyahu asked to have a green light from President Bush. He would like to strike nuclear stations inside Iran. But newspapers in the United States did not publish the response of George Bush at the time, but they published the response of European Union. They said, we are running negotiation, which really continued before and after, total 13 years, until JCPOA happened. And this Obama followed up with. So I think that was the oldest story I can remember from my side, that, yeah, it's a provocative country, but another country which feels threat, which has been mentioned by Israeli many times. This is the short distance enemy threat to us. Then in 2009, President Obama declared that it's going on, and he succeeded in July, mid of July, I think, 2015, to have the JCPOA, even including the signature of 5+1, which was very successful at that time from a point of view of United States, European Union, China, and all other members of the National Security Council. Then, sanctions left from Iran. Life became nice for them. But Netanyahu, after that, succeeded to increase also, accordingly, his budget, military budget. Instead of 3.2, which top 2.3 billions became 5 billions per year, 3.4 per year, I think, if I'm not wrong. Because now, okay, I agree with the agreement, but increase my military budget because I'm in front of a big threat. Okay, just with Obama. He is very smart to exploit all situations. In January 2017, President Trump came. And for sure, as everybody knows now, I remember in 2015, it was Israel and Saudi Arabia, yes, maybe they have the right of that or not, whatever, that they were against the agreement. So it was the time to President Trump. Now, because Moshe Ya'alon mentioned in his video like that Salafi jihadists, Arab Sunni, which is the fourth camp in the region, Arab Sunni and Israel, we are facing one enemy, which is Iran, and the United States must support us to fight Iran, confront them. It was very clear at that time. So when Trump came, other plan starts. I think the United States, when they deploy their forces in May, I believe, my personal view, they have 5 specific goals. Number one, they would like to say that deterrence. But here's a very important point. Even I wrote article about that, have been published in the United Arab Emirates. Political decision is different from military decision. In political decision, you can say, I deploy my forces to deter the enemy. But as a commander of these forces have been deployed, I'm not going to deter, I'm going to fight. Because if the enemy just send one bullet to me, I have the right to fight, and I have to be able and capable to defeat the enemy completely. That's why the forces there were to fight, not to deter military-wise or military perspective. But political perspective is there to deter, I think, according to what Trump repeated many times. And also, you know, he would like to force Iran to come back to negotiation, but in different positions of the table, not like 2015, with the conditions of GCC for sure and Israel. And this, as you see, all of these goals, I think, these 5 goals, I think that the most important one of them, from my perspective, I didn't see any article about that, but I think China becomes in the picture in our region somehow. They advance more economic power, but they have military power, which I believe nobody knows until now how much is capable. Big, as everybody imagine, or small. So I think it was like a message to China. I think so. So, but in the same time, I'm sorry, yes. Oh, okay. I believe some obstacles. When anybody was asking war or no war, it was difficult to have a question like this. So, as I mentioned, many things happened to show this going on, but other obstacles, I think they were there. Like, for example, it's not like 1990 or 1993. The security situation is different. It's not suitable. And remember, United States, most probably, according to statistics, will defeat Iran. So in this case, the chaos will come expanding from Afghanistan more to the Middle East. In addition to that, Trump was, and I think he's still keen to have Nobel reward. I think so. And he wants to be elected. Why Obama before me? And remember, always I believe that President Trump, all his decisions based on 3 things. Profit to the United States, but not domination, which is usual to the United States. Second one, I am the best and everybody before me was not very good, especially President Obama, which is the third one. So military escalation, will lead to exclusive war against Iran. Bearing in mind something, as I told you, Iran has a big strategic depth. Saudi Arabia have a big strategic depth. But United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, very small inside. We call it in military, how can I say it in English, casualty ratio. So to strike 100 targets in Iran, enough only 1 target inside any small country. And I hope you visit United Arab Emirates, see how much is prosperity. It's really impressive. So it's not fair, and remember, if you launch aircraft, American one, from any Arab country, the react from Iran will be to the Arab country, not to the American forces. And that have to be considered always. So, also, countries like yours, in addition to Europe, they deny the war. All of these, I think, were obstacles. That's why many people, they will sure war will never happen. The problem that, maybe I will, in my summarize, I will say in the conclusion. And the results of these strikes, I could got some facts from my point of view, that I think that Iran really turned it to a positive action, action position, not reaction as before. Now, that's why I believe if they do the strikes, they continue. At least they have the benefit from that, but I think they do it. So at the same time, they would like to say many messages from these strikes. One important from them, sanctions do not work with us. We are continuing. We have the hand. All of the forces in the region is inside our capability. We can destroy them. So on the Gulf, I think the Gulf states' capabilities, they would like to say that. And launching a single US strike, as I said, it will be targeted again to this, as I said, the Arabian or the Gulf countries as a reaction. I think Iran believes in something, that we will do what we want, but Saudi Arabia reaction will be only buying more weapons. I think they think this way. To finish, I think, very short. To finish, I wanted to say in here, even though with these strong obstacles, but I believe, and even though also that President Trump fired John Bolton, and now it looks like calming down, but I think that President Trump is in a position to launch a war anytime. This really, as I told you, which I felt in Europe. They believe that it will happen somehow. He's in a position that he has to launch the war. So we have to consider a very important point. Number one, the coming election in Israel. Number two, the coming election in the United States. These two will decide a lot. Think, we will see. And after Professor mentioned about if King Mohammed bin Salman will continue as Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman will be the king of Saudi Arabia, or the other four alternatives, this also will decide a lot in the future. One more issue that I didn't mention because this I have prepared earlier, the current reconciliation with Qatar. I think it will change a lot because the split of Qatar, it has reasons, but results were really very affecting. And I could feel with United Arab Emirates, they always know very well where is the time to have the strategic withdrawal, to decide I'm wrong or I'm right and go forward, even in alternative directors. They have strategies, that's why they think very well. One plan, but different variants and hypotheses. We have to be ready with scenarios. So all of these elements, as I mentioned by end of conclusion, I think will show to us what we are so keen to know. This is all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.